Good evening, everyone. It's Jeff.
And Kelly.
We're just coming to you here from our home in isolation. Once again, what is this? Week 2 now?
Day 8 of school.
Day 8 of, well, lack thereof.
Yeah.
But just wanted to talk to you guys, North Beach. Have a quick little lesson here, but also go through some of the things that we're doing here as the North Beach region, but in addition to that, as the Hampton Roads Church. I'm sure for all of you, like it has been for us, this time has been a complete change of life. From where I go on a daily basis to how I do my job to how I interact with my family and the amount of time that we're together as a family with the boys here in the house. Even down to when you go to the store, it's different the way that people look at you. Everybody, I feel like, is sizing you up, trying to figure out if you're sick or not.
Sure.
The whole world is different. And with that, it brings some new stressors to our life. If you're anything like me, perhaps you've been a little bit more, irritated. Perhaps you're quicker to snap at others.
Yep.
Maybe it's with your roommates or with your spouse or, God forbid, your kids. We start to feel kind of like, this is out of my norm, and it starts to stress us out. It starts to put us on edge. And I wanted to really be able to help us out with that this evening. Let's go ahead and look to Jesus in Matthew chapter 20 and verse 24. I'll put the scriptures down at the bottom here of the video if you guys need to go look at those scriptures later. And what we're going to be jumping into is the mother of Zebedee's sons come to Jesus, and she asks them, Jesus, I got a favor to ask you. I want my 2 sons to be on the right and the left of you in the kingdom of heaven. Huge ask of Jesus here. And of course, Jesus corrects her thinking, helps her out a bit.
Amen.
But in verse 24, we're going to see this is what the other 10 out of the 12 felt about this conversation. In verse 24 of chapter 20, it says, when the 10 heard, they were indignant with the 2 brothers. Jesus called them together and said, you know that the rulers of the Gentiles lord it over them, and their high officials exercise authority over them. Not so with you. Instead, whoever wants to become great must be your servant, and whoever wants to be first must be your slave. And just as the Son of Man did not come to be served, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom for many. Here it's very clear that Jesus is trying to get across the point that we got to start thinking a little bit backwards, a little bit countercultural, that even Jesus as the Son of God, as the rightful King, one who each and every one of us would have understandably been called to serve him, he says, I've come here to serve you. He is coming here to serve us even to the point of laying down his own life. And for us, as we do change our lives completely, as we do possibly be on edge throughout all of this, I want us to really look at how can we serve? How can we think of others? And how can we serve even here in our homes? I want to hand it over to Kelly, give us some ideas on how to serve.
Okay, so a lot of these ideas actually came from you guys, things that come up in our conversations that you're already doing, and some are things that we've been trying to do in our home. So hopefully some of these things are things that you and your roommates, your households can use to serve those around you. One of them was giving necessities to those without. Toilet paper, medical masks, and other things that you might need as you're interacting with the public. Hand sanitizer. Using extra time at home to babysit. This was huge. Of course, this person put in a lot of boundaries in order to keep everyone healthy. Those who were coming into her home, those who would be going back home. but opening up your home and your extra time at home to be able to serve those with kids who still have to go to work. Picking up and dropping off groceries and prescriptions. Writing cards to people, sending it in the mail, dropping it off at their homes, even making encouraging phone calls to one another just to see how we're doing, to have that at least voice-to-voice time. Sending encouraging texts to let one another know that we're thinking about them, even people that we know from work and maybe we're not seeing as often, or neighbors that we've been building relationships with. I'm also finding some of us, we don't know what we need, and some of our neighbors and our brothers and sisters, we don't always know what we need, but being able to just leave encouraging gifts for people, trying to do things that they may not think of, leaving flowers or gifts. Maybe their favorite drink is a Pepsi, leaving that at their front door and letting them know. Cookies, yes. My next door neighbors, they don't need a whole lot, but we made them cookies just because we could.
Everyone loves cookies. I love cookies.
He eats all the cookies. Our boys are taking garbage cans to and from the street for some of our neighbors who are more high risk and don't want to come out of their homes. So I know there's a lot more. Maybe in the comment section we can even be giving each other ideas of things that we could be doing or things that we're going to try, and we can let each other know how it's going.
Amen. Thanks, Kel. You know, the great thing about serving others is it really does lower the tension. It brings harmony to our homes and to our
Amen.
Relationships with one another. You know, if you look at Philippians chapter 2, you really get to see a great picture of who Jesus is. And of course, there we see that Jesus, put others above himself. And we're called as disciples to do the same. And throughout this time, we have a greater opportunity to serve more than ever before, because honestly, we do have more free time. And the great thing about serving is, I want to highlight 3 things that happen to us. When we serve, that focus comes off of us.
Amen.
We're able to focus on other people's needs, and therefore our issues, our needs, our struggles don't become as big. Secondly, we can be more like Jesus. We can imitate Jesus and, in the long run, be transformed more into the image of Christ. I think lastly, what it does is it should remind us of how Jesus serves us. From dying on the cross to even today, continuing to wash our sins. And as Kelly said, we want to hear from you guys. Leave some comments down there about some of the ways that you have served already, or some ways that you're hoping and looking forward to serving, whether it's in your home or outside your home. We want to hear from you guys. As North Beach, I think together we can come up with some great thoughts and plans, ideas to really go out there and to serve. So look forward to hearing about that. Before we close out here, wanted to run through a couple of things here. Throughout this time, we do have a lot of free time, and hopefully you guys are staying busy doing some projects around the house. I know we've been painting quite a bit. Fun times there. But I know this is a given, but don't forget to have some great time with God. It's funny, when you seem to have more time, you can fill it up with things that aren't God. And so really have some good time set aside every day to spend some time in prayer, spend some time in the Word. And if you need to, we do have the morning devotional videos will be posted here every day for the next month or so, depending on how long everything ends up going. Also, we want to ask that you try to get time with other disciples. Now, I know that some of us can't leave our homes, or we don't feel comfortable leaving your home. Use FaceTime. Use apps like Zoom. And because there is something about that face-to-face where it's hard to connect with that distance, and even harder when you don't see someone's face there. So let's use this great tools that God has given us to really be able to have some great times together. Thirdly, we're going to try to provide family devos as the Hampton Roads Church for all of you. Now, with that being said, they're going to be short. And we're looking to do these once to twice every week. And the staff will be providing those for you as a resource, because I know that our kids, unfortunately, aren't able to be in Kingdom Kids and to learn about God and to interact with other kids. And hopefully this can give you a way to kind of hopefully fill that gap a bit. And maybe you want to do it with another family over Zoom. Lastly, for me, and then I'll hand it over to Kelly here, this Thursday, being tomorrow, we're calling for a church-wide fast. Now, this isn't just Hampton Roads, this is all ICOC. It's going to be fasting from midnight tonight to midnight tomorrow night. And this is really a time to go into prayer and really ask God for his guidance, but also his power to be able to heal the world so we can all go back to as life is normal. But in addition to that, more importantly, so all of us can be safe and healthy. Kelly?
Couple practical things. We are looking for anyone who might have grade level or subject matter expertise in anything to help kids who are home. My children, I feel bad that I have become their teacher. So if any of you have been equipped, given gifts by God to be able to teach any grade level or any subject, could you please contact me? You can text me, call me. We're trying to compile a list that we can provide to parents whose kids might need extra help. You can also contact me if that didn't make sense and you need some extra information.
Sure
Also, just want to keep reminding us, I know we've gone through this whole lesson and already given some ideas, and we will continue to in the comment section, but finding ways to help our neighbors and the elderly around us, ways to encourage them and to be a light for them. Also, if you need anything at all, please don't hesitate to call us. We are more than happy to run errands, to pick things up. I will shop for you if you need groceries. Just let me know. And lastly, continue to pray. Praying for medical professionals, praying for those who are sick, praying for our brothers and sisters, and the worries and all kinds of things that can creep in there. Truly a spiritual battle that is going on right now, and praying for one another is the most powerful thing we can do.
Amen. I want to close this out. Basically, we do miss you guys terribly. We miss seeing all of you guys. We miss fellowshipping with you guys. We miss worshiping with you guys. And I know this is not the same, and it never will be the same as far as us talking to a camera. But hopefully, prayerfully soon, we will all be together to worship God and to be able to fellowship. So with that, we will see you guys later, and we'll be continuing to pray for all of you.